Bud Light. Now, apparently Bud Light, they partnered up with a trans influencer named Dylan Mulvaney, I believe. Now, first and foremost, Dylan's a fucking woman's name. Rather, a man's name. All right? I'm getting sick of this like androgynistic thing where it's like, you know, women are getting these names like Carter and Jackson. And, you know, it's like you're obvious, like you're a woman, aren't you? You're a girl, aren't you? You're a girl, ain't you? You know, so first and foremost, Dylan's a man's name. Knock it off. Creeps you the fuck out. You know what I mean? But anyways, Dylan Mulvaney, or I don't know. I don't get it. Well, was Dylan his name pre-op, then post-op? He kept the name? It's like lose the dick, keep the name? I mean, I'm not really, basically I'm non-interested in trans issues. I mean, it's sad. These are people that are having conflict to the point in which they will mutilate themselves, go against themselves. The jokes, the harsh words, whatever comes out of my mouth, whatever I say, pales in comparison to the fact that these are people with emotional issues that are willing to go to the point of self-mutilation. So, whatever. I ain't with it. God bless them. Just keep me out of it. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to impose your wrong as my right. You know, they're doing wrong and they're trying to impose it on me as right. Of course it's normal to cut off your body parts and start calling yourself the opposite gender that you are, isn't that? Of course it makes sense. You don't think it makes sense? Anyways, Bud Light's been in some hot water lately around this Dylan Mulvaney influencer saga. They partnered up with this person and they, I guess, I don't know, they were trying to launch some sort of campaign to diversify the shit-faced college frat boy drunken buffoonery demographic that is generally their base of business, I guess. I don't know. They're trying to... I mean, why shoot a golden goose? If a bunch of drunken morons are going to buy your shit, why pollute it by trying to be diverse? Yo, man, like your clients don't want to be diverse. They want to be numb, nullified, in a stupor. They're beer drinkers. God love them. So I don't know, some bonehead marketing decision. So it's been in the news, I guess, like the stocks, the values, the bonds, the whatever of Bud Light have been plummeting. I think a good Budweiser commercial, funny one, would be like, you know, apparently they try to do some damage control, coming up with all these pro-America Bud Light commercials, putting them out there. And they were just corny and made fun of relentlessly online. You know, they showcased things like a billowing American flag and a Clydesdale running down a dirt road and trucks and the rodeo and baseball games and hot dogs. Oh, I'm an American. Trying to do damage control for this flibberty gibbet trans social influencer that they had caked on the side of a... Like, that's the last thing you want to see when you're shit-faced at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning. Last call, everyone. Well, I guess last call is like 2 a.m. Last call, everyone. And you're just... I don't want to go home alone. Another dingy night alone. Curled up on the sofa by my damn self. I need someone. I need to be held. I need to be loved. I need to be... Ah! You're staring at that fucking face. That fucking trans face. Ah! Peeking at you. Peeking out at you. At last call. Ah! You know, who the hell needs that, right? So Bud Light trying to do damage control with their dumbass commercials. I think a good commercial would be this. So just like lean into it with some humor. You know, it's like you got some frat boys just like, ugh. Oh, what happened last night? Oh, what happened last night? He like rolls over in bed and he's just like laying next to like some tranny. Good morning. Ah! We've all done things that we've later regretted. You shit-faced drunks. Forgive us. Bud Light. Some frat boy waking up with a tranny in bed. Ah! I got a math test today. What happened? Ah! Here's an article. This, again, is an article from TorontoSun.com. Bud Light could lose top dog status to Modelo after trans flap. Beer expert says. Bud Light continues to fizzle out following a flap involving trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Now, a beer industry expert claims the behemoth could lose its status as America's brew of choice, according to the Daily Mail. Sales of Bud Light are down 26% year over year for the week of April 22nd, according to the industry data report by Beer Business Daily. While Bud Light is still the best-selling beer in America, really? While Bud Light is still the best-selling beer in America, Bud Light is in serious trouble this year if parent company Anheuser-Busch can't reverse the decline in sales, industry expert Bump Williams told the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I think it runs the risk of losing the number one position at the end of the calendar year 2023 to Modelo Especial, said Williams of Bump Williams Consulting. Baby, turn around and let me see that sexy body go bump, bump, bump. Baby, that's all I need when I see. Baby, turn around and let me see that sexy thing go bump, bump, bump. Remember that? Said Williams of Bump Williams Consulting, a firm specializing in alcoholic beverage industry. According to Williams, stores last year sold US $4.8 billion worth of Bud Light, making it the top US beer brand, followed by Modelo Especial with US $3.75 billion in sales, and Michelob Ultra, which took in US $3.3 billion from thirsty shoppers. That's a hell of a lot of hangovers. Shit. That's multi-billion hangovers, you know? All of those figures are for in-store sales only. All of those figures are for in-store sales only and do not include purchases at restaurant and bars. Because who fucking knows? You know how those degenerates are. You know? You ever been ripped off on a beer tab? I remember one time, it was like $2 beer night. And I was on the dance floor shit-faced. I'm like, let's get some beers, right? And the little beer tub girl came around and, you know, she charges me for the beer and I go to pay it. Then my buddy's like, hey, wait a minute. This is what my friend said. He goes, wait a minute. Beers are supposed to be on special for $2. She's charging us $5. Or whatever the fuck it was, right? And I remember I looked at her, right? And she was just like, I was like, wow, You know, it's like when you're going to a bar or out in public drinking, just be aware people are trying to rob you blind and skull fuck you. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't want to be so cynical. Go out and enjoy yourself. But all of those figures are for in-store sales only and do not include purchases at restaurants and bars. Williams told DailyMail.com that because Coors Light and Miller Lite are so far behind Bud Light in sales, I don't think they have a chance to surpass Bud Light, despite the brand's recent slump. I thought Coors Light, and actually, you know, like I don't drink anymore, but I was never really into Coors Light. Miller Lite is pretty good. Some people don't like Miller. I used to like Miller Lite. You know, fresh pack of cigarettes and a 12-pack of Miller Lite. Come on, boy. You know, sipping on a Miller Lite, smoking a cigarette. It's pretty damn good. Pretty tasty. Coors I was never so much into. I loved Budweiser. But drank Budweiser all the time. Bud Light. I mean, what's the point of getting Bud Light? What's the point of getting a light beer, period? Pussy. But I mean, trans pussy. But I mean, you know how it is. Let me continue here. Bud Light sales started going downhill on April 1st, Fool's Day. Bud Light starts going downhill on April 1st, Fool's Day, when Mulvaney first promoted the beer on her, or his or her, this person, when Mulvaney first promoted the beer on this person's social media pages while showing off a personalized can with his or her face on it. In the aftermath, furious consumers called for a boycott of the brand, with politicians and celebrities alike banishing cans and using them for target practice. I saw that. My name is Kid Rock. It's Kid Rock, baby. Kid Rock, you know, he like takes an AR-15 and just decimates like a crate of Bud Light in retaliation against this, you know, Dylan Mulvaney sponsored Bud Light shenanigans. Paw with the paw, the bang, diggy, 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 say the boogie, say up, jump the boogie. Just fucking decimates a fucking flat of Bud Light. It's like, you know, Kid Rock, I get it, you know, I mean, it's disgusting to me as well, you know, I mean, it really is. But I mean, did you have to shoot him up? I mean, couldn't you just pour him down the sink? Like any self-respecting, recovering alcoholic would do? Just go pour it down the sink. A bloop, 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 bloop. You don't have to blow up the damn thing. Shoot it up. But it did really illustrate a point. Looked pretty cool, too. Anyway. Bud Light sales started going downhill on April 1st when Mulvaney first promoted the beer on social media pages while showing off a personalized can with his or her face on it. In the aftermath, furious consumers called for a boycott of the brand, with politicians and celebrities alike banishing cans and using them for target practice. Yeah. So, yeah. Bud Light sales are fizzling out after this flap involving trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Sales of Bud Light are down 26% year over for the week ending April 22nd, 2023. Yeah. Hey, you know, there's a lot of talk you hear about trans people, and how I think about them is like they're human beings and they're covered by the same human rights as any human being. So it's like they don't need no special rights or this, that, or the other. Violence is against them is obviously just as wrong as it would be against anyone. Discrimination based on their personhood is wrong just as much as it would be against anyone. I'm just not into their world of make-believe. And I don't see the point of their imposition. You know, like their way of life makes sense to them. So let it make sense to them. Why do they have to like go out and promote it and try to put it on others? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, just call it what it is. This is a person with personal issues to the point in which they're willing to self-mutilate themselves. Does that make any sense? They're being harmful and destructive to themselves. That would just be the same as if like, you know, I don't try to whinge on and bang on about this anymore, but I used to have a drinking problem. And, you know, people are coming out these days saying that people with substance abuse problems are brave and they're fighting a battle and it's a disease and there's no right to discriminate against somebody because of a disease. Call it what it is. These people are angry, caught up in a spiritual rapture, and they're self-harming themselves. What, are we going to start saying that it's okay to be a drunk and a meth head and, yeah, go ahead and smoke fucking ice and, yeah, get shit-faced drunk every fucking day, whatever. You know, it's your truth. It's who you are. And it makes sense, right? Like, no, it doesn't make sense to self-harm yourself and you're not a victim and it's like obvious something's wrong. But like, we're always trying to cover up the wrong and make it right or impose it as right, or, you know, people are always trying to do wrong and have it be seen as right when it's clear as the nose on your face. Right? So, you know, like I say, if like, you know, a trans person wants to do what they want to do, let them do it. But they should just keep it to themselves and not try to impose their viewpoint on others, because it doesn't make any sense and it's clear as day, right? But I don't know. This is the world we're living in these days. Though I will say this, you know, I spoke a little bit about trans people and, you know, I think they have the right of any human being. Safety to, you know, the right to safety, the right to their own personhood, the right to go out and seek employment and do for themselves. And I do sort of. Well, no, in terms of just the fact of a career, I do have empathy for this Dylan Mulvaney character, because he or she goes out and through the work by this person's own work, sweat and brow, they built up a following. I think it was like TikTok or something, or however he or she did it. And, you know, there was a lot of hard work. He or she gets this marketing contract, this influencer spokesperson contract with Bud Light. It's a lot of hard work they did to get there. And I mean, how is Dylan feeling right now with all this backlash? And this, it must feel pretty overwhelming. Or maybe Dylan's a sociopath and could care less because, like, you know, they got a lot of issues going on and stuff. I do wonder, though, because, I mean, that can't feel good. And I don't know. Like, I think, through my spiritual journey, through my wanderings, through my evolution, some things that I've heard lately is like, it makes sense enough just to see wrong, or just to see the error of a way. You don't have to browbeat it and bash it over the head and, overexpose or overreact to a situation. I mean, you see somebody doing something wrong, you point it out, you let it go. It's their life. So it is kind of sad to see this person just caught up in this whirlwind of rejection. And I wonder how they're taking it. I wonder how Dylan is taking it. Like an overwhelming, maybe it's enough to shake him. Maybe it's enough to shake him or her back into reality of the situation. Hey, God bless you drunk, beer drinking buffoons, and God bless Dylan Mulvaney. And, calls him like you sees him. And, I don't drink beer anyway, so I don't really have any dog in the fight. But I mean, some things are just obvious. And, the only way to help people is to, give them the truth. I mean, for example, again, I don't like to, make myself a martyr and bang on and whinge on about this shit. I mean, I don't even care anymore. But at one point in my life, one of my problems was drinking. If people were just to tell me, oh no, you have a disease and you're a victim, and yeah, it makes total sense why. I mean, if you look at your life and your circumstances, of course it makes sense for you to get shit-faced drunk every day. I mean, there's nothing abnormal about that. No, you're right. You are right in your self-destruction. How would that have helped me? Not that I give a shit what people say anyway, and I had to figure it out for myself. But the point is, when you lie to people and they're going down a bad path, they're just going to get worse. So, I mean, hopefully for Dylan, this feedback is a little bit enlightening. And hopefully Dylan made some money, And hopefully Dylan goes on and does I mean, I don't have no hopes for Dylan other than to be well. I wish Dylan well.